Welcome back. In this video, we're going to focus on adding some extra snare notes to the basic disco groove. In the last video, we already learned how to build the basic coordination needed for this song. If you haven't seen it yet, and you still need some help on building up the basic disco groove, go watch the video for more than words. There's no open hi-hat in this song, so your left foot can take a rest. Instead, we have a slightly trickier left hand pattern. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Come on. Let's go behind into the world side.
Before we examine this groove, let's listen to it. Underneath, we can hear a basic disco groove on drums, with some electronic sounds overdubbed. If we consider all of this together, the composite rhythm, we get a groove that's much more rhythmically active than just the basic disco. One very important point that will carry over from the last video is the idea of combining the hands into one pattern, rather than thinking of them separately. As a reminder, I recommend thinking about the basic disco hand pattern as simply right, left, right, rather than thinking of them separately. We're going to extend that idea with this song.
Come on. Let's go behind into the world side. With the weight of the free and ride. Let's go behind into the world side. With the weight of the free and ride. Let's go behind into the world side. With the weight of the free and ride. Let's go behind into the world side. With the weight of the free and ride.
This may seem difficult at first, but it's really not. It's all about how to approach it. Let's first focus on the hands alone, no feet. Our hand pattern is now right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right. Don't overthink this. Focus on the feeling. The right hand hasn't changed. All we're doing is adding some extra left hands around it. If you need to, take out just that middle part and really focus on developing the feeling of right, left, right, right, left, right. If you're struggling, try putting all of this on one surface first, preferably a pad. This will help us focus on just the feeling of the sticking without being distracted by the differences in sound and placement of each hand. Then try to put that back into the full bar, focusing on the feeling and the muscle memory. To put this into an exercise, we could try something like this. Start with just one bar of basic disco, no extra snare hits, and then add them in the second bar. Alternate these two bars, so we're developing comfort and steady tempo in the first bar, and then just adding those extra snare hits for the second bar. Don't force them out. Make sure everything stays smooth and relaxed. Once the hands are smooth and comfortable, try to add the kick back into this exercise. Just like in More Than Words, we have a steady 4-on-the-floor kick pattern here. Try to relate your hand pattern to this, really feeling where that left hand falls with the kick on beats 2 and 4.
Come on. Let's go behind into the world side. With the weight of the free and ride. Let's go behind into the world side. With the weight of the free and ride.
The next thing to do is to build up repetitions. This bar serves as the foundation of the entire song, so we need to be able to play it consistently before moving on to the final step. There are many ways to approach this. You might try playing 2 bars at a time and then rest for 1 bar and repeat that. You could also work in our earlier exercise, now playing 2 bars of basic disco and then 2 bars with the added snare notes.
Left the school behind into the world outside. With the weight of the thrill and ride. Left the school behind into the world outside. With the weight of the thrill and ride. Left the school behind into the world outside. With the weight of the thrill and ride. Left the school behind into the world outside. With the weight of the thrill and ride.
Once that's consistent, try to go for 4 bars. However you get there, we need to be able to play this bar comfortably and consistently. There's just 1 or 2 small details left to add to this. Let's take a look at the full groove again and notice that there's an extra snare hit at the end of bar 2 and bar 4. We need to add these in.
Come on. Left the school behind into the world outside. With the weight of the thrill and ride. Left the school behind into the world outside. With the weight of the thrill and ride. Left the school behind into the world outside. With the weight of the thrill and ride. Left the school behind into the world outside. With the weight of the thrill and ride.
Your approach to this really depends on your level of comfort with the basic bar. You might be able to just add these in without any extra work. But if you have trouble with these, I recommend following a similar approach to what we did before. Take out the kick and focus on just the hands first. Then, once the hands are comfortable, try to add the kick back in. Finally, repeat some of the earlier exercises we used to develop comfortable repetitions, now using this full left-hand pattern. Before we close, let's talk about possible modifications for this song. If you're struggling with all of these extra left-hand notes, how can we retain the essence of this groove? And as always, the answer to this really depends on you. If you can identify what your own roadblocks are, you'll have a much better idea of what you need to modify. My number 1 recommendation would first be to drop those extra notes at the ends of bar 2 and bar 4 and just keep the extra notes in the middle of the bar consistent.
Come on. Left the school behind into the world outside. With the weight of the thrill and ride. Left the school behind into the world outside. With the weight of the thrill and ride. Left the school behind into the world outside. With the weight of the thrill and ride. Left the school behind into the world outside. With the weight of the...
These extra notes in the middle of the bar are what give this groove its extra bounce and energy. So if possible, we really want to preserve these. But if absolutely necessary, you can also drop one of these as well. Probably the second note, the one after beat 3.
Come on. Left the school behind into the world outside. With the weight of the thrill and ride. Left the school behind into the world outside. With the weight of the thrill and ride. Left the school.
And if absolutely necessary, you just drop all of this and keep playing the basic disco groove throughout the song. This is what makes the song what it is. Remember, audiences don't know what's on the page. They only hear whether the groove feels steady and appropriate. And again, none of this is cheating. It's just musical problem solving. So, if the full part still feels like a bit too much, make it playable and grow from there. Although it may seem simple, there are 2 core concepts discussed in this video that you can apply to many different situations. First, as much as possible, try to focus on combining different limbs, such as the hands, into one pattern, rather than thinking of them separately. This chunking of mental information and physical feeling really helps to reduce brain processing power and helps us to be more relaxed as we play. And second, break things down and simplify them at first by removing certain elements. This could mean focusing on the hands only without the kick. This could also mean creating an exercise where we start with a simplified version of a groove and then add in extra elements. We used both of these approaches in this video, and these strategies will come up again in many later songs. So, every time you're practicing chunking and simplifying, you're building habits that will make learning harder songs easier. As always, if you have any questions, please leave a comment and I'll do my best to respond. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you want to keep working on this song, Patreon is where all of the learning resources for this channel live. You can join the community and download the TV-size sheet music for free there. The link is on screen and in the description. Thanks again for watching, and now, the outtakes. Before we close, let's talk about possible modifications.